Hey guys, Whispering Tactician here. Now, before we move on, please consider dropping this video a like and subscribing as similar content is on its way. Guys, Whispering Tactician back with another video, another relaxing video. Now, we are going to be going through some of the weekend games, looking at some of the very controversial and important fixtures, some of the more exciting fixtures of the last week, and some of the fixtures that are going to be coming up as well. So let's start from Tuesday, and on Tuesday, Man United played Leicester City. Man United fielded a very weak side in comparison to their normal starting lineup, and they lost the game 2-1. It was to be expected, however the game was surrounded with some controversy, as Man United still want their owners out. And if you just take a look at some of the ratings of the players, a lot of the players here, people voted them quite low for Manchester United and quite high for, well, not quite high, but a lot higher than the Man United players. Leicester had a lot of the ball in the first half. They were trying to open United up, and I think when you look at the stats, you might be like, well, Man United played with more of the ball. Well, I don't think that was the case when you watched the game. Leicester had a lot of the better chances, more shots on target. Man United didn't look like winning the game, and eventually Leicester ran out winners. Anyway, Leicester won this game 2-1. Let's move on to Southampton vs Crystal Palace. And again, I watched this game. Southampton were very good. I think when you're looking at some of these mid-table sides, you have to contextualize it, because a lot of them, when they play each other, it's not a true reflection of how good they are. They're very, very similar because they're around that same area in the table. I think this game was very good. It showed me how well Dan Ings is as a finisher, and I would be taking him to the Euros, but I think that's another issue. Anyway, Southampton won the game 3-1. Crystal Palace were okay. I don't think they were that bad, but Southampton were just a lot better than them in the game, and even if you look at the stats as well, it kind of tells you the same thing, that Crystal Palace kind of sat back and Southampton had more of the possession. And this win took Southampton just below Crystal Palace, with Crystal Palace needing no more points to stay up from relegation. They kind of, in my opinion, they kind of fobbed the game off. I don't think the game matters to them that much anymore right now. But anyway, let's move on to the next fixture. And the next fixture that we're going to be looking at from the last week is Chelsea vs Arsenal. And this was a game that you'd expect Chelsea to win. Chelsea were okay in the actual game, but a stupid mistake from their defenders caused Arsenal to essentially get an open goal. They almost scored an own goal themselves, but from that point on, Arsenal just parked the bus after loads of attacks from Chelsea. Chelsea did dominate the game. They still couldn't find a way through. They had a goal ruled out. But again, that was offside. That was a clear offside, so it wasn't an issue in terms of, or a controversial issue in that sense. And if you look at the stats again, I just want to go to the stats. Chelsea had almost 70% possession and 19 shots, 5 on target. They dominated Arsenal. Arsenal got away with a 1-0. How does this bode for their top 4 hopes? How does it bode? It wasn't a great result. Anyway, moving on to the next game. Aston Villa drew with Everton. A boring game, I can't lie. I didn't watch it. I saw the highlights and I wasn't impressed. But 0-0, I guess both teams are kind of trying to finish as high as possible. Everton trying to finish in the European places. I really think, both teams probably were happy with a draw. Both teams are very dangerous on, when they can use their game plan effectively. And I think they'd just be happy to get out there with a draw. Nothing more, nothing less. If you have a look at some of the ratings as well, nothing above a 7 for anyone really, and no one was that good. Emi Martinez was man of the match, which, is understandable. Then we have a look at the biggest game in English football. And this game was filled with a lot of goals, a lot of mistakes, but a lot of drama. Well, not drama, but a lot of things happening. And Man United took the lead. They went 1-0 ahead. They almost gave away a penalty, which was crazy. And Liverpool absolutely took their chances and deserved to win the game. Man United should not be happy with the way their team switched off. I think it was crazy how easy it was for Liverpool. If you think about it, Liverpool have a temporary back line, and they absolutely outplayed Man United. It should have been 5 or 6. It gave me flashbacks of when Manchester United did play Tottenham, in terms of how open the game was, and Liverpool have been absolutely deserving of this win. They were very, very good. If you have a look at some of the average ratings, Mo Salah, again, that front three was very, very good. Jota as well, I don't know where he is, he's down here, but he was very good, he scored as well. And yeah, Liverpool deserved a lot of praise from that night. When we have a look at Manchester United, a lot of their players didn't get high ratings, and understandably so. Again, there was some protest around during that game. If you just scroll down here, some of the fans making their voices heard. Moving on to the next game. Newcastle versus Manchester City. A dead rubber, both teams up. Manchester City beat Newcastle 4-3. Torres scored, Fernand Torres should I say, scored 3 goals. His first hat-trick of his career. And Newcastle gave them a very good game. I'm not going to go too deep into this because, of course, there are other games to look at. On Saturday, Leeds beat Burnley 4-0. Leeds put on a very good display. They schooled Burnley, but Burnley are safe. So this is the thing. It's not a bad thing that Burnley got beat because they normally do anyway. That's why they're down at the bottom, and as long as they're safe, they should be fine. But Burnley, I think they'd just be looking to finish as high as possible after this. If we look at the table, they can finish potentially 13th, but I think Crystal Palace will finish higher than them, if I'm being honest, so I don't see it. But anyway, moving on to the next game. The next game was Southampton versus Fulham. Southampton beat Fulham 3-1. I didn't watch the game. If we have a look at the stats from down at the bottom, the stats down here, it seems like an even game. It seems like Southampton took their chances, but I can't speculate because I didn't watch the game. So I can only tell from the stats that Southampton basically did deserve to win the game. And again, Southampton are on a bit of a roll, picking up wins, finishing as high as possible. Fulham already relegated as well. Unfortunate for them. Last game of Saturday, Brighton and Hove Albion drew with West Ham United. A very disappointing result for West Ham United, because West Ham United are up in these places. They're going for top 4 or Europe, and even if you look at the teams behind them, they are chasing them down. Liverpool are ahead of them with less games played. It seems like top 4 is over for them. However, they can still get into the Europa League places. Hopefully, we can see, a thrilling last day where, West Ham and Tottenham or Everton are competing for those places. Anyway, 1-0, Ben Rama scored after Welbeck scored, and I watched this game and I was very, very impressed with how Brighton played against West Ham, considering they're safe and considering West Ham are going for something. They were better than West Ham in my opinion. Next game we're going to be looking at are the Sunday games. Sunday games included Crystal Palace versus Villa, a thriller. Benteke, absolutely, I don't watch Palace often, but when I do, I never see Benteke on the score sheet. I'll tell you that. He did. I watched the game and he did okay. Palace did really well to win this game because it was a game that was just on the knife edge. Who was going to take their chance at the end? And it turned out to be Crystal Palace. Now, if we have a look at the table after this win, Crystal Palace again, I think they can finish 12th. I think they can finish in these places, or in this place here, because Wolves, as much as they have a good talented squad, I just don't think, with the fixtures that they have as well. I think they have Manchester United on the last day. I I just don't see them finishing there. But equally, I think Palace also have Liverpool, so I think Liverpool will beat them. So Wolves could potentially just finish in 12th. Moving on to the next games. Tottenham beat Wolves 2-0. Tottenham were very convincing in their win as well. They just blew Wolves away. Tottenham, I've not enjoyed watching Tottenham like this for a long time. And I think Sunday was one of those days. I enjoyed it. But it was against Wolves, so it's got to be taken with a pinch of salt in terms of Tottenham should be expected to win against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Harry Kane scored and Højbjerg also scored and assisted. And if we just take a look at the ratings, you'll see that Højbjerg got the best ratings because he scored and assisted, but Son was okay. Ali also played, he was very good as well. A lot of things that Wolves have got to learn from this season, because they're kind of just becoming a mid-table side, which is good for them, but I think they need to push on as well. Moving on to the next game on Sunday. An absolute crazy game. West Brom 1, Liverpool 2. It sounds like, okay, well, Liverpool 1. No. Alisson. He's one of the best headers I've seen from someone who's not an outfield player ever. I don't think I've seen someone get their head on it that convincingly. It was crazy, right? Alisson, he just kept their hopes alive for top 4, and I think Liverpool will make it. I think they will. No. However, they've got Crystal Palace away, and I've seen Liverpool go there, going for the title, and it's gone wrong. So we'll see how that goes. But I think they'll be okay. Alisson's header was amazing. I think the overall game wasn't great. I think Liverpool didn't deserve to win the game. There was offsides for both sides that should have stood, or not should have stood, but there was a bit of an argument as to whether there was an offside, but it was a 1-0 game. West Brom frustrated them very much, very, very much. And Alisson just, as you can see there, just gets his head on it. Crazy. Keeping Liverpool in a top 4 or in pole position for that top 4 spot. Looking at the last game, fixtures. If we look at the last game, a shock. Sheffield United beat Everton at home. Everton have lost a lot of games at home. It's just crazy. Sheffield United had no right just rocking up to Everton and beating them the way they did. But they did. And Everton, they look less and less likely to make that top 4 up here now. Well done to Sheffield United on this victory. Now, I just want to go through the rest of the games. I'm on the wrong I don't know where I am right now. Right, if we just type in Premier League. And I just want to take us through Tuesday and Wednesday games. And I'll just go versus Leeds United. Leeds United are the flavour of the month. They are doing very, very well recently. I expect Leeds to draw with Southampton 1-0. I think Southampton are also in very good form. We'll see how that game pans out. Brighton versus City. City can field any team that they have right now, and they should be able to beat Brighton. They've already won the league. They're probably not going to play their best players. As we can see here, some of the team news as well. I don't expect Brighton to play Man City to play their best players, so I still think they will win, but I think it will all be by a 1-goal margin. I'm saying 2-1 again. Chelsea, and this is the biggest game of this round. Chelsea playing Leicester City. I expect Chelsea to beat Leicester City. I know they have lost the FA Cup final at the weekend, but I expect Chelsea to come out and play and win. And this will leave Leicester City in a bit of a predicament, because Liverpool will probably take their spot, but anything can happen in this game. Leicester have the momentum. They shouldn't lose. So I still believe Chelsea will win. However, the most likely result is probably a draw. But I believe Chelsea have to win. Going on to Everton versus Wolves. I think Everton are a brilliant side. They are very, very well coached under Ancelotti. However, it feels like their season's over almost. They've lost to Sheffield United, and it feels like their season is over. I'm saying a 1-1 draw with Wolves. Newcastle versus Sheffield United. I expect Newcastle to win 2-1. Hopefully we see a good game, because I'm going to be watching all these games. Tottenham versus Aston Villa. I expect a draw from that game. I think Aston Villa will hold on. I think Tottenham, again, they have something to play for, but Aston Villa are not an easy side to play right now. I'm saying a 1-1 draw. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. I say that Arsenal win the game, but we don't, you never know what Crystal Palace is going to turn up for this game, so I'm saying Arsenal win, maybe 2-0. Because I think Arsenal will have some making up to do anyway. Burnley versus Liverpool. Burnley to lose to Liverpool. I think Liverpool have too much on the line. Too much to lose. So I'm saying Liverpool to win this game 2-0. West Brom versus West Ham. West Ham, they seem like they're fading away, but I still feel they'll win this game. I'm going 1-0 West Ham. 1-0. Let me know if you agree with any of my predictions. The Premier League is such a